Okay, take a nice deep breath in and
Yeah.
go. Uh, Good morning, Ryan.
Good morning, Roy. It's great to be here. Thanks for having me.
Well, thank you for being here, and it's great to have you here as well. How are you today?
I'm good. I'm good. It's a little rainy out up here in Connecticut, so I feel today is a good day for some self-hypnosis, aka napping.
Always a good time for a nap, I say.
Yeah.
Let our system rest and recalibrate itself.
Yeah, that's right.
Good. So, I'm very curious, Ryan. How
Yeah.
did you come across hypnosis?
Oh, yeah. You know that my answer almost changes every time for because my stock answer for the last, I don't know, almost a year would be from my sudden cardiac arrest where my heart just stopped and I went into this other place. It was, some people say seeing the light. Me, I was like this infinite possibility, whatever you call it. Some people might say you just pure consciousness, neurons firing, whatever you want to call it. Right. So I was like, okay, that place was cool. I felt like there was unlimited potential there. And then my quest has been how do I tap into that place of unlimited potential without having to die to get to it? So I
Okay.
did a lot of different things. And then one of them was shamanism. And I feel that a lot of hypnosis gets its roots from shamanism. And then so that kind of was the building of the process. And the reason I say my answer changes is because then I look back to my early childhood and around 8 years old, it was cracking open those plastic containers with the cassettes in it. It was Tony Robbins and pulling it in. And
Wow.
he's doing these NLP techniques. And I didn't know what NLP was at the time. And then he did the thing where you close your eyes and the music is going and you do this visualization. And so is hypnosis. And I was like, whoa, how do I do that? So I think the seed was planted back then, though my concentrated efforts of getting into and doing hypnosis has been these last few years as I've gone from shamanism to Reiki to even stand-up comedy. I had a theory about that, about people are in trance before they get to the show. Like they'll say, "Oh, I just got in a fight with my spouse," or "I couldn't find parking," or "I'm running late," or "bills are due," and they have these trances, and they come to the comedy show, and they're kind of stuck in these loops, and then they don't laugh. And so my theory was, how do I interrupt the loop? I was doing the hypnosis. I kind of knew it, but I wasn't calling it hypnosis. It was a pattern interrupt or whatever you want to call it at the door, like shaking their hand, making jokes as they come in and snapping them out of it. And sure enough, the shows were a lot better once people were out of their loop. So long story. So either 2011 when I died or when I was 8 years old. That's when I first got started.
Well, it's your story. You get to pick, you
Yeah,
know?
it evolves. It
Uh,
evolves. It's funny how memory changes too. And then we deal with that with hypnosis too, where we can kind of like retell the memory, like the events are there, how we look at them, how we code them can change.
Sometimes we're not even aware of events that were
Right,
prominent sometime in the past until all of a sudden, one day it's like, whoa, wait, I had this
right.
thing, right?
It all makes sense now. Yeah.
There we go. Sense is a good thing to make sometime.
Yes.
So you are already either from the age of 8 or the age of whatever
Whatever. Yeah.
into in the world of hypnosis. And is there one thing, I know that there's probably more than one, but
Mm.
one thing that you really like about hypnosis?
Oh, yeah. So the one thing I really like is being curious and playful with what's possible. So the more I'm like, we know hypnosis works really well for certain things like anxiety and pain relief. And what I've seen in doing my own podcast and interviewing some of our peers is some of the crazy things that they've seen. such as tumors just spontaneously going into remission. I think that's nuts. Or functional diseases such as they call it hysterical blindness or PTSD. Something could trigger the brain to say you're blind, to seeing people get their eyesight back. I think that's crazy cool. And so that's my favorite thing about hypnosis is to see what's possible and what else can it help with.
I'm sure that there's more than we know.
Oh yeah, yeah. And you just look at Erickson. I mean, he was doing some nutso stuff back in the day, you know? And it's like, wow, that's cool, you know. So that's what drives me, makes me love it so much. And just seeing how people can change without effort, kind of like the Tao calls that effortless effort. Like you're doing the work, things are happening, though it doesn't feel like it's work. It doesn't feel like you're pushing or
Mhm.
striving. It just naturally happens as we tap into that subconscious superpower of ours.
The effortless way.
Right, right.
The Wu
Easy.
Wei, yeah, that's amazing. Wu Wei. I know you like Wu
Yeah,
as well.
exactly.
Well, we're not gonna. Well,
Yeah,
actually, we do go into Wu right now because you mentioned it, and if people didn't hear, you have clinically died,
right,
right?
right. Yeah, that's it drives me. It was 2011. I was out to eat and no symptoms. It was just sudden lights out. It was the electrical issue of the heart. The cardiologist did tons of tests afterwards, PET scans, MRIs. They did blood work where they had to send it to Europe to see if there was some kind of like gene expression that could have caused it. All these interesting tests I've never heard of before. And at the end of the day, they say it was idiopathic sudden cardiac arrest, meaning idiopathic. They don't know what caused the electrical signals. Like there's no blockages in the heart. It wasn't a heart attack. It was just lights out. And then it's like, whoa, that's crazy. And it reflects the stories that we tell ourselves. And this is how it kind of ties into hypnosis because a week before, well, I was depressed a long time before that, but a week before, I was praying to God to take my life. So it's that is like I was almost programming myself to die. It was just so miserable and actually asking, like pleading. And in a lot of ways, I see hypnosis as almost like a prayer that we say to something within us. And this one was a negative effect. And yeah, it killed me. The doctors don't know why. And I was gone for I don't know how long because there was 74 times they shocked me. So I would go out, shock me, I'd come back
Wow.
in. Yeah, out and in. They shocked me so many times. It left burn marks on my chest and stomach area, the side of my stomach where they put the pads. And I couldn't see after they revived me because just the pressure of the eyes and all the whites of my eyes were completely red and just so much damage to the body to get me back.
Oof. Well,
Crazy stuff, man.
yeah, sounds crazy. And I'm happy that you're still alive and
Yeah,
with
me too.
us
Thank you.
because we can learn probably a lot from this. And actually, you're going to give a presentation
Mm,
which you called Finding a Meaning After a Near-Death Experience.
yeah, that's right. So when I was revived, two questions were plaguing my mind. One, what's my purpose here on earth? Like the place I went to was so cool and incredible and is just peaceful. Like I was aware, I was nowhere and everywhere all at once. It was an amazing experience. And then you get shocked back. And then as soon as I came back, that fear started coming onto me. Where I was, I had no fear. In this place, I had a lot of fear that that might happen again. I was scared of the peace. Is that weird paradox. And so that was one question. What's my purpose? People that have a out of hospital cardiac arrest like that, the doctors say it's about 4% chance of survival. And things just lined up where I'm still here. So the what's my purpose? That's one thing. The other part is how do I tap into that place that felt so powerful and so providing and so many possibilities as if I can choose what I want to be in that zone. And so how do I tap into that? That's been driving me. And then so that's what I'm kind of presenting on is my latest theories after over a decade of introspection and reading different things like hypnosis and going different hypnotic courses that we do and just figuring it out. And then, so yeah, that's my presentation. Like, how can we influence it? And it's a blend of the woo woo stuff and the science because I've interviewed a lot of scientific people in the scientific community doing these cool studies. And so, yeah, it's a blend of what I've learned so far.
So this is definitely, it sounds to me like this is going to be more kind of telling your story and what you've
Yeah.
learned from it and what we can learn from it as well.
Yeah. Like, what's possible and where I'm at today, and just a little like an appetizer of what I'll be talking about is both like when I say the woo, like the ritual stuff, like shamans, or even when I was a preacher back before, they do this ritual and it's very hypnotic. It's woo woo, as in you might not understand why they're doing it, yet it's scientific because we can see what's going on in the brain and the body when they're doing it. And an example I use is church services where you go into a church service. It's very much like a stage show for hypnosis. You go into a church, they get you excited. They sing the songs and they praise and worship, and that puts you into that gamma state. And then the preacher starts talking. Nah, 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 nah. And your brain goes into that beta state and it starts wondering, oh, what am I going to eat after church? What groceries do I need? What am I, so just no, 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 puts you in that beta state. And then what do they do after that? Bow your head and close your eyes. And they softly speak, the Lord is calling you. Now is the
All
time to
right.
make a choice. And it puts you into that alpha state, that highly suggestible state. And so that's the woo woo. And it's the shamans did it back in the day and they still do it today. And it's that place and it's that authority, the guy up on the stage, so that's the blend of woo and science, looking at what's going on in the body and how can we maximize it to effect. And what I'm looking at these days, which I'll talk about in the presentation, is epigenetics and the hormone cascade that begins from the brain and the parts of the brain that are activated. And then the woo part of does incense, lighting incense or sage work, like what's going on with that and blending and marrying that together to get an incredible experience.
Well, it sounds amazing. And what would you like people to take from it?
I would love for people to take away some curiosity,
Okay.
right? Because I feel like a lot of our peers get so focused on one thing, like, am I saying the right words? Or am I saying it in the right cadence? Is my voice low enough? They look at all these things and I'm saying, well, what else? You look at Erickson and it doesn't seem like he was sitting there analyzing every word, every breath he took. It almost seemed like it was just coming out of him, like flowing from within. And so I would love for people to take away what else can I investigate? What else is possible? And just be curious.
I absolutely support that. And I invite everyone out there to come and get curious about a
Mm.
presentation from a dead man talking. How often do you actually get to hear this story firsthand?
Yeah, yeah, man.
So I'm very happy you're alive,
I am too,
and
and I'm blessed to be here to be able to share.
and I hope that the Hypnotic Horizon will be one step in finding your meaning and
That's
purpose
right. Yeah.
because
This is the way. This like they say in that Mandalorian show, this is the way.
this is the way, and may the
This
force
is the
be with
path.
you, and
Exactly.
all that. So we'll see you on April 25, 26. And if you haven't registered yet, go to Hypnotic Horizon. You know, it's free. It's going to be amazing. We have more than 20 people presenting some incredible things. I'm so very curious, excited, and a bit scared, hoping that everything will work well.
Yeah, yeah. Whatever happens will
Yeah,
happen.
exactly. We'll just flow with the flow, go with the
That's
flow,
right.
and thank
And
you
learn
so
for next
much.
year.
Yeah, exactly. It's like you have to start somewhere, and this is the beginning.
Yeah,
So,
this
Ryan,
is the beginning.
thank you for being
Thank
here
you,
with
man.
us, and we'll
Yeah.
see you soon.
Bye-bye.